pieces of evidence that we are asking Dr. Kortshagen's help with. How did these perimeter units land 600 feet away from the 76th floor without additional force beyond that of gravitational potential energy? So once he looks at this, and his staff and his professors, we're hoping he'll be as intrigued as we are by the question, and then to look at all of the additional questions that are developed in the destruction of the Twin Towers, such as the free fall collapse at 9 and 10 seconds for these towers against 80,000 tons of structural steel designed to resist that load. The destruction of 90,000 tons of concrete down to almost a talcum powder in consistency. In other words, none of these 110 floors, concrete floors, an acre in size each, were found at the base of either of the Twin Towers. They have been systematically blown and ejected laterally along with these perimeter wall units. Also, why does the structural engineer of the World Trade Center himself, Leslie Robertson, find, along with dozens of other demolition contractors and first responders, tons of molten metal flowing like lava, as they describe it? Where does the molten metal come from? The fires were only 1,400 degrees, max. Molten metal, steel doesn't even begin to melt until 2,700 degrees. So we're hoping that Dr. Kortshagen will look at that difference between the possibility of the fire producing this molten metal, which it just can't, and what might have produced it. Well, we're hoping that he'll look at the chemical evidence also in the molten metal, in the ends of the beams and the slag, and in the trace chemicals found in all the dust samples of thermite, a high-tech incendiary used to cut through steel like a hot knife through butter. When he looks at that, we'll hope that he has gone far enough to intrigue not only himself, but this entire Department of Mechanical Engineering and the entire university and the universities across this country who are silent on the key points of evidence that make it extremely obvious that the Twin Towers were in fact blown apart explosively with this high-tech thermite called nanothermite. It turns out they're very, very small particles producing very explosive results. There is plenty of other evidence which we'll be hoping to have the opportunity to talk to Dr. Kortshagen about personally, but all of which we'll be presenting tomorrow night at Weyerhaeuser Chapel at Macalester College, August 2nd at 6 p.m. So we'll hope he comes and others come as well. The 9/11 Truth Movement, I fly around the country every other weekend talking about this in a different state. And we have totally now over 3,800 architects and 3,800 members, 400 of which are architects and engineers. Virtually every architect and engineer that I show this evidence to ends up signing our petition, demanding a real investigation.
Are you saying that the thermite could have been on board the planes, or are you saying it was intrinsically a part of the World Trade Tower, their structure?
The destruction traveled at free fall speed all the way down each tower. So
that
the
can't be done on the
explosive.
plane then.
Right, exactly. In the case of Building 7, the third skyscraper to collapse on 9/11 at 5 p.m. in the afternoon, it resembled a classic controlled demolition just like you saw in the hotels in Las Vegas. So it came down also at virtually at free fall speed, symmetrically, smoothly, and people don't know this because it was not played in the media. It is a blackout.
I wasn't aware there was a third building.
No, and I'll be talking about it tomorrow night at 6.
6 in the
Yeah, and you can check out our website too
I
if
love
something
that.
happens.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're so welcome. This is word of mouth.
Hello, anybody here?
Slightly intimidating.
May I help someone?
Hi, are you Betsy?
Yes, I
Hi,
am.
Richard Gage. Nice to meet you. I brought my entourage here.
Oh,
Joe Princiotta talked to you on the phone about delivering a package to Dr. Kortshagen.
okay.
Remember that phone call?
Oh, I probably did.
Oh, good. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to introduce myself,
Oh, just a second.
and you'll get the phone.
I'll get the phone. I'm not sure how many people are around now on Friday afternoon.
Is Dr. Kortshagen here himself?
I am not sure. We'll have to go and,
No, let's ask. Check it
okay.
out.
I didn't think you were home.
I wanted to introduce myself. I just gave a package to Betsy.
Okay.
And it's a question from a member of ours, because I started the Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. And we have been given this problem by one of our members that's specific about the ejection of one of these 4 and 20-ton perimeter wall units from the 76th floor of the North Tower on 9/11. And ejected it such that it landed 600 feet away from the tower. And it must have been traveling therefore at 67 miles an hour. Joe Princiotta asked me, how could this happen with just gravitational potential energy? Wouldn't it have to have been some other force? So I'm asking you for help. And so that's the spirit in which I gave this package to Betsy to give to you.
Good.
So I hope you'll help us. We could not answer the question. There's exhibits there.
Mhm.
There's some simple calculations. And if you could get back to me, I'd be honored.
I'll be happy to look at it.
But in addition, though, I'm going to be speaking, as I'm speaking in a different city across the country every other weekend, I'll be speaking at McAllister College tomorrow night. So if you're intrigued enough to come and see this type of evidence, I would implore you to come at 6 p.m. at the Weyerhaeuser Chapel.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Very
Great
nice
to meet you.
I'm so sorry that I have all my hands full.
Oh,
Thank you.
no problem. And
Good.
we'll hope to see you there tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. A little piece of truth. It's really important that they understand that this country
I'll call you back.
has some serious problems. And we're going to expose those today. That is the collapse of the Twin Towers. Not caused by fires and airplanes.